Where the heck is Joe Biden? That's what we're going to find out next. Welcome back to Shake Shakers. Derek Van Schaik here. Where is Joe Biden? Where is he, man? I mean, all this coronavirus stuff has been going on for about almost 2 months now, and we don't know where he is. Have you seen him? Have you seen him in interviews? He has done a few interviews here and there, but overall, he's pretty much gone off the radar. And this is the thing, too. He is the presumptive Democratic nominee for president of the United States. He has the most delegate votes out of all the candidates running, but he hasn't clinched it yet. It's not at all like in the bag. So it's just really odd that he's just completely gone off the radar and no one really seems to know where he is. So physically, where is Joe Biden? He's, doing like every other American, staying home. And he is in his basement.
And here I am in my basement.
Occasionally doing an interview and occasionally making a YouTube video. The coronavirus pandemic is one of the biggest stories of this entire century. It's something that will, in fact, shape a generation. It's that big of a story. This is not just like, oh, yeah, flu was pretty bad last year. No. I mean, how often do we shut down our economy? And this is massive. And where's Joe Biden? He's staying home and in his basement, occasionally making those videos and occasional interview. That's not enough. And it's not very smart for him to do that. I mean, if we look back to a few months ago, Democrat primary, I mean, gosh, that was the big story. That was the big story. I mean, think of all the big crowds and everyone packed in arenas, not social distancing. And now none of that anymore. It's a completely different world. Completely different now. Joe Biden at this point kind of feels like a relic of it. So what we want to do is not just talk about, he's doing a terrible job to stay relevant, but more along the lines of what can he do, or really more what he should have done to actually stay relevant. Because here's the thing. There's a time to politic, and then there's a time to govern. Joe Biden is not in any formal type of governing position. That's a problem. Because now is not the time to politic. It's really to solve problems. So really, Joe Biden should have, and I guess he still can, figure out a way to be involved in the governing process of helping the government provide assistance to people. The thing that I would think of as being the best way for him to do that, I mean, there's lots of ways to do this, but he hasn't done any of it. He's just really quarantined himself and, again, hid himself in his home basement. That's not very effective. It's not very smart. He really should have and could have become almost like a intermediary between the states and making sure all the states get what they need to maybe the federal government. Put pressure on the federal government to say, hey, this state's not getting what they need. And hey, you guys need to work this out and do this and really be able to criticize, but still work for the benefit of the states and the benefit of the people. But he hasn't done any of that. He hasn't carved any role out for himself in this entire pandemic. In everything that we're going through, he's just basically a bump on a log. And it's like, dude, you expect to be president of the United States? Leaders by nature want to be out front, want to be speaking, want to be helping. They can't take a back seat when something big is happening. They just can't. It's not in them. Not hiding, not hunkering down in the basement, but out front helping people and putting things together and fixing things. So if we go to Joe Biden's website, what do we see? It's basically a pre-coronavirus world. Look at these images. I mean, look at everything on this entire website. It's all a bunch of people standing close together, a whole bunch of people working hard together and trying to rally the crowd for Joe Biden. But it's such a old world that is not even close to our reality now, or our near-term type of reality that we're going to be seeing. This is such a pre-coronavirus world, which is exactly what Joe Biden represents. If you really think about Joe Biden, I mean, he's the guy that's going to get right up kind of in your face and hold your hands while he's talking to you, kind of like this video image here on his website. I mean, look at him. He's holding hands with her. He's this close from her. nose to nose practically. That is a very pre-coronavirus world. And that is Joe Biden. Not to say just that that's his personality, because it is, but he hasn't really changed clearly that much of his personality. His personality is basically, hey, I'm like that. It seems to be, right? So then I can't be like that now. So let me hunker down and let me know when I can be like that again. He needs to change now, and something needs to change. And if he doesn't, he can't expect to be the Democratic presidential nominee. I mean, he has to know that if this doesn't turn around within the next month, okay, if this just stays the way it is, he's not going to be their nominee. I can almost promise you that. They're not going to just nominate someone who's in their basement, especially not when it's a time to lead. It's a time to govern. It's time to bring people together and figure out problems. And he's in his basement. I have the most delegates, so they're going to have to choose me. They can't possibly choose anybody else. Bull crap. Yeah, they can choose somebody else. I promise you they will choose somebody else if you're just locked in your basement going into the convention. You're not going to be nominated. They're going to choose someone who solved the problem, who's not just locked in their basement waiting for it to pass. They're going to elect a leader. They're going to appoint a leader to be their nominee. And if we click the Joe's leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic, okay, what is Joe's leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic? Let's read about it. This is what it says, along with a picture of him really close to everybody, not social distancing. I mean, it's totally out of touch of where we are right now. But this is what it says. Together, we are resilient and strong. This is what he's calling his leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic. In the midst of a growing public health crisis, the country is looking for leadership, stability, and trusted experience. And that's Vice President Joe Biden. Biden knows how to mount an effective crisis response and elevate the voices of scientists, public health experts, and first responders because he has done it before. We need a decisive public health response to curb the spread of this disease and provide treatment to those in need, as well as decisive economic response that delivers real relief to American workers, families, and small businesses and protects the economy as a whole. Joe's been honest with the American people about what is necessary to beat this challenge and knows that we are up to this task and that we will meet this challenge together as one America. Great. And that is Joe's leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic. And if we scroll down more, it's more pictures of very pre-COVID-19. Joe Biden's literally shaking that woman's hand. Everyone's all close together. It's such a foreign world that we're looking at there from where we are now. That's such a relic of the past. And it just shows how much of a relic he is. And this is crazy. This is on his COVID-19 page. This is not just on some random page. And he's shaking hands. Everyone's close together. And I don't know what's going through this guy's mind. If we click media, we got to inform and reassure the American people. Great. But what are you doing? You're a leader. I think you should be. Why are you not leading? Why are you not taking a role? What are you doing specifically? Not just what you have done, not just what you want to do, not just what you would do. What are you doing now? Yeah, and on his YouTube channel that has 21.6 thousand subscribers. He occasionally, every day or two or three, he posts a video, mostly just commercials. They're like campaign commercials. He's posting on his YouTube channel. Who's watching this? Look, this one has 1,100 views. This is not a viral, trending type of YouTube channel. He has nothing going on this YouTube channel. You need to do more than just film a couple of things from your basement. And that's the thing. This is, again, I just want to be very clear. This is not anything against Joe Biden or not anything for Trump, not anything for any other candidate. This is just calling it how I see it. Okay? That this is absolutely ridiculous. While everyone else is trying to figure out the problem, solve problems, you know, you have all these other governors, you have Trump and his administration and everyone else, you know, trying to solve problems. Whether you agree with whatever they're doing or who's ever doing what, that's for another show. But he's not doing anything. He's just hanging out in his basement. Call him Basement Biden, you know? And this is crazy. I can't get over how someone's okay with just being totally irrelevant and thinking that everything will just fall into place. He must think that. He must think that, hey, if this just lasts whatever, it doesn't matter. I have the most delegates. I have the most delegates. Don't work that way. Democratic Party is a private organization. They get to choose whatever the heck they want. No idea what's going through that guy's mind. And I'm not even touching on the whole thing of, is Joe Biden mentally fit, because he seems to be mentally distant. Is he mentally fit to be president? I'm not even talking about that. That's a whole nother topic, and you guys can all talk about that in the comments if you want. But I'm just talking about the pure fact that he just made himself completely irrelevant. An irrelevant relic, if that's even possible. That's what it seems like. Joe Biden is an irrelevant relic. You may be asking then, well, if Joe Biden's not going to be the nominee, then who's going to be the nominee? People are going to realize that Joe Biden's just not really doing anything, and they're going to want someone else, and that someone else is going to be Bernie Sanders. That's an option. Or the party, I don't know how the party specifically works with big cats and the establishment, but they may choose someone who hasn't even maybe run for president this year. Maybe someone like Andrew Cuomo from New York, governor of New York, who does daily press briefings and who is, whether you agree on whatever, is trying to solve the problem. It's going to be between Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Andrew Cuomo. I think all of them have equal chance of getting it at this point, which is actually shocking considering, like a month and a half ago, we would say that, Joe Biden has it pretty much in the bag at that point. Now it's like, no, actually not. Joe Biden could still be the nominee, I think, as long as this all ends like in a month or two. If it doesn't end before then and it continues into the summer, then I don't think he has a chance at becoming the Democratic nominee for president of the United States. But now in the comments, what do you think? Do you think it's okay for Joe Biden to stay in his basement? Do you think it's not? Do you think Joe Biden will be the Democratic nominee for president? And if not, who do you think it will be? Let everyone know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss out on new Schaik podcasts where we always shake things up with body language and other insights. And I'll see you at the top.